Good morning folks, it's the 20th of July and we're out to do a wee crop update. We're starting here in the spring oats and we're down to the winter oats and work our way around the crops, let you know how they're getting on. I know there's a few guys started winter barley harvest. Please leave a comment if you're started harvest, how your crops are looking or how you feel the prospects for an average or a good or a poor yield are this year. And let's get a look at the crops. So, spring oats, they're looking really well actually now. Nice and thick. Oh, lovely and clean still. These had 2 fungicides, one on flag leaf and one then when the panicles were fully emerged. Nice healthy looking panicles. Good thick stand of crop. I'll not go into it just in this update, but I am in the drilling trial plots. That's direct drilled, this is min-tilled, that's ploughed, and currently I cannot tell any difference in any of the plots. So it's very interesting to see what the combine says. But yeah, crops are looking good. They were drilled across this way. Can't really even see the rows, they've spread out nicely. So from that point of view I'm well pleased, and they weren't into the start of April, so I kind of have a confidence now that if we can't get winter crops in the conditions required, spring oats could be a good alternative as we go through. Yeah, well pleased with these, and we'll show you how they match up to our winter oats next door. This is where we are in Northern Ireland. That is the Mourne Mountains. They sweep down to the sea, Trella Beach, Irish Sea over there. England, Scotland, Wales, Isle of Man out that way. This way's inland. As the crow flies, we're only about 2 miles from the shoreline, so we get a lot of mist and sea fog coming in. We've had it this last few days, and I think you've seen it there in the wee clip of the main crop potatoes. How murky the sky was, that brings a lot of disease. So yeah, into the oats, get a look at these winter oats. Yeah, tram lines are green from running the wide tires, but the oats are looking mighty. They're really starting to motor in now. 10 days, a fortnight, we'll be cutting these. Nice big panicles. Let's see. Anyway. Yeah, looking well. The leaves have senesced off naturally, they haven't become the disease. Lovely golden straw. This could be good straw considering straw prices are going to be high. Nice stand, good thick crop. They're all standing. First in about 5 years of growing oats that they've been standing at harvest. Fingers crossed they're still standing when we get the combine out, but they should be over the worst period now for when they could go down. So fingers crossed. For anybody that didn't see the previous update, the reason there's spring oats are in the outsides of these fields is these are all min-till fields. The autumn was very wet and I didn't want to risk planting winter oats around the outside, damaging the soil structure, compromising the yield anyway, and then having to re-drill it in the spring anyway. So we waited and waited for a window. We thought we would probably get in sort of February time with husky. It would match up fairly close. That didn't happen. It was the first week in April. We've got it in. It's looking really well, so I'm well pleased we did do that. It's going to be an absolute bummer to combine because in Northern Ireland we're all small fields. The average size of these fields of oats is only 5 acres. So by the time I get enough space to turn the combine, the field will be cut and we go on to the next one. But hey, as long as I've got something to cut and I haven't damaged the health of our soil, it's a win-win. So let's go and take a look at the wheat. Should just add before we go to the wheat that those winter oats had 2 fungicides as well. Flag leaf and when the panicles were fully emerged. This is our best field of winter wheat in my opinion. It is our no-till field. 4 years since it's been cultivated or ploughed. I have a few, let me see if I take my finger away, a few wee weeds popping up above because we missed the pre-emergence herbicide as a result of the weather. But all in that, it's looking pretty good. I think we're at the verge of where we're nearly too heavy on the head and on the nitrogen. It's starting to lean slightly, but we've got lovely big bold heads. I can get the focus for you. This had no T0, no T1. It got a T2, a T3, and now it's had a T4 fungicide about 10 days ago, so around the July fortnight, July holidays. Because our weather hasn't been great. It's been damp. It's been fairly warm this last couple of weeks, but it's been damp, and we always get damp weather in July. And if a quarter of our yield is going to come from the head, I'd like to keep it clean as long as possible through the harvest. And another thing we do is we apply a bit of potash with that fungicide. To me, I'm not educated enough to know exactly what it's doing, but in a few trials a few years ago, where I was said it may be beneficial, we could pick out the line in the distance of where the crop was cleaner and brighter at harvest than without the potash. So for the little cost it's doing, if it's helping keep the crop going and keep it clean, I think it was worth it. So we put a fungicide and a potash application on. And we also did a couple of strips with 5 litres of molasses to see if we could keep the crop a wee bit greener for longer. We'll do a few nitrogen tests on that at a later date with our end sensor to see if there was any difference before the leaf completely disappears. So this is one of the areas that's had the extra molasses, and actually I think visibly we can now see that it's still greener compared to what we were looking at a moment ago. And I've pulled ahead here, and if I can try and get it out and in focus to show you what we've got. So that's our disease level, it's our green leaf area, and that's our head of green. Get rid of the leaf here, I'm about it my way, and try and focus on the green. So I'm fairly content with that. That head is still pretty green as well. So hopefully that's sucking in goodness out of the sun. So yeah, and you can see it's kind of leaning in places. It's not as thick in spots as I would like, but I think that's normally a result too of no-till. You do lose a wee bit in germination, but the head is ample. You know, there's good big heads there, and if you get down, see the variations in height as one variety sticks up above the other. Even right along the headlands, right out to the ditch where we're turning and all, it's still looking pretty good. A slightly thinner spot there and a slightly thinner spot there, but all in all that's good wheat right to the ditch. Just as I walk down to show you some of the other wheat here, I think one of the key reasons why I think that field is better than the rest is because it had digested in March. We just put it on with a 6mm dribble bar, drove over it with the tractor tanker. As you can see, it's now not visible. the conditions of no-till allowed us to do that. I was too nervous to do it in the other fields, even though they're min-till and not ploughed. And I wish you had now. It was just a good start to get it up and away. So now flip the camera and show you these other fields. So these are the other fields. Again, looking pretty good. You know, nice and level out the ditch. There's a few more beans in here. This is one of the fields where we left the beans longer, and then we killed them off just as late as we possibly could with Avocet, which is handy because, well, missed this wee bit. It generally takes out oats, so it gives you good clean up of grass, beans and oats, so we can get oats in here next year. It's not just as green, and the bean stalks, the beans have died off okay, but the stalks are still there. So we're going to get a bit of this in the straw, which might be a bit frustrating, especially when straw is going to be valuable. You want to keep good quality for the customer. But it's okay, happy enough. Yeah, a wee bit thinner as well, but I think that's down to this is lighter land, stony, shaly sort of land. Let's see a thin spot there to show you. You know, there's plenty of stone content here. In the 5 weeks of dry weather in June, just sort of burnt those wee heighty bits up. That's why the beans have come through there so much maybe. Not much bother with grass weeds around the ditch, which I'm pleased with. Just check it, although the Avocet maybe has taken them out, which is good. You know, we're on the height of the hill here where it runs down. There's a bit of normal grass creeping out from the hedge with the sprayer. You can kind of see where the sprayer has missed that wee bit. All in all, fairly pleased. I'm sure they're crying out for a few dry days and cursing that weather. Got yesterday, even though I'm delighted to see the rain for the potatoes. And actually it's helping keep this wheat and stuff green a wee bit longer. But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of neighbours wanting to crack on with winter barley. Hello, here in Northern Ireland, it's the, whatever that is, 20th of July. Anybody that has good crops of winter barley, they're not ready yet. They're talking another 10 days to 2 weeks before they think it's really ready, so into August, which would be fairly normal here. The likes of the fields across the ditch there suffered from BYDV and stuff, and just were always thin, and the wind blowing in June has ripened them in early. Yeah, the neighbour has quite a few patches of his barley well brackled over now, and just soaking wet with the rain yesterday. And the heads are not just as plump and full as you would like. They're quite light. Seems to have been a result just of the lack of sunshine in the springtime. That's not, you know, I've got big hands, but use my finger as an example. Yeah, he has quite a few heads actually, but hopefully for them we can get a week's dry weather now, and people in that situation can get their crops harvested and saved. So definitely don't need the extra cost of dry and wet crops. Lastly, beans. Haven't been in the beans for a while. Come out here and get a look. Quite tall. All in all, fairly pleased. The chocolate spot's starting to kick in. That'll kill them off. But what have we got for pods? Fairly decent sized pods. Scroll back so you can see a wee bit of weeds down below where at the gate. Let's see what we've got. The lighter spots, I'll maybe stop at one of the next fields. Lovely view of the Moor Mountains in the background there. Maybe stop at one of the other fields on the way past to see if I can show you with it. Oh, just look at my arms. Yeah, look at that. Alive with stuff. Yeah, here's a perfect example. camera to focus in on them. Strip that leaf out of the way. Alright, dropped you there. Can you see them? Yeah, plants are alive. Food for something else, I suppose. The only thing I have to be careful is there's potatoes in the next field. Those are beans. Good plump beans at the moment. We can get the weather to fill them out. Good thick stand. Yeah. So I quickly jump up onto the ditch here. I zoom in there, you can see the weeds, and the beans are a bit sporadic, and there should be a wee bit down over there somewhere, the top of that hill. The beans are thin, the weeds have grown, because that's shaly and stony. You know, there's only 3 or 4 inches of soil, and the beans have suffered. The rest is fine. Potato update. Field of Queens behind us. Well coloured in. A wee bit prematurely maybe, partly due to all the wind they received. And if we flip the camera, I'll just show you where they were getting all the wind and the rubbing. It's marked the leaves. Broke some of them off. It leaves them open to damage. Weeds were also a bit of a problem this year because of the slow start to the growing season and the cold ground temperatures. The sealers don't seem to have worked just as well as you would like. See there too where the wind has even rubbed holes in the leaves. But we'll see what we've got in here. Try to do this one-handed. There's lots of roots to that stalk. Our ground is quite dry. Rain forecast later today. What is this, 20th of July? So they've got nicely to size now. Skin finish is quite good for queens, but yeah, they look nice in the basket. We have the odd one like this, not that many now, but that was because the ground was dry. 5 weeks of cold, windy weather, and then we got 60 something mil of rain in 2 days, so that caused rapid growth. The potato couldn't take it, grew too quickly, and it cracks and splits. So we have to discard these because the customers won't be happy, even though if you cut down both sides of it, there'd be nothing wrong with the rest of the potato. But thankfully not as many as I maybe once feared with getting the 60 mil of rain at once. But other than that, nice sample of potatoes. The dry matter is really good. Well pleased. Thankfully there is rain coming today, and I say the camera might not do it justice, but if we get down into here to the drill and lift a bit of this soil, it's lovely soil, the fibres, structure, but it just crumbles. There's very little moisture. That's a stone. There's very little excess moisture there. The potatoes have used up that whole 60 mil that we got over a week ago, a week and a half ago now. So we do need more just to finish these out. Those are a light, lovely size of potato, but there's just a few this size that if we could get them a wee bit bigger, then we'd maximise our yield, which would be good. There's another one there, see these? Those two are just under size. Those are the ideal size, so we need these to get a wee bit bigger, and then we'll have a lovely even crop. We're out here in a crop of Navan. They're just starting to come into bloom. You see the lovely wee purpley pink flowers, but this is what we call blight weather. It's warm, still, damp, muggy, fungus breeding weather. So yeah, to finish up this crop update, fairly pleased with how crops are looking at the moment. They're all still standing, which is a benefit over last year. They've got a fair potential. they're going to be average or above. I'll be disappointed if they're not. And yeah, a nice dry month of August wouldn't go amiss. Don't forget to put in the comments how you're on with harvest, or where your crops are looking, or how the conditions are. Give it a wee like and subscribe for more updates as we go along. Thanks for watching.